Hi, this is John from EvoGov, and in this video, I'm going to give you a quick peek behind the curtain at what we've been working on with the next generation of our content management system. We've been really hard at work for the last, 6 months on this, and we're pretty proud of it. We're hoping to launch in June, maybe near the end of June. There's a few more things to button up, but I'm excited to show you a little bit about it today, just at a high level to kind of make you aware of what we're up to so you can look forward to this. If you are an existing EvoGov customer or a new customer, your site will get this upgrade. We expect it to be, quite a bit different, maybe a little bit jarring. So we'll be rolling out training videos and help documentation on everything before we launch it and give customers, a nice warning before it goes live. But here we're looking at the new dashboard. So when you log in to the CMS, this is what you'll see. There is a analytics component that we've built in, which will track all the traffic to your site. It's not meant to be a full like campaign management tracking thing like Google Analytics, but most of our customers want to know what their busiest pages are, how many page views they get per month, per day, per week, and annually, so that they can track that. So this gives you a full reporting system for analytics built in. Also, if you manage a department, let's say we go to the city manager department here, you'll see we have a whole new interface for departments. So you'll be able to see your department's content traffic as well. So same kind of thing as the overall traffic report, but broken down to just the pages, FAQs and forums and other content that your department manages. In the department management screen here, we've really tried to make it easier for departments to manage their kind of walled garden of content within the site. So on the left here, you'll see all pages that your department owns, right? So, all content. So it'll be pages, FAQs, forms, everything that your department is assigned will be one click away here. The side menu management has always been a little tricky for some clients, so we've made this a lot easier to manage your side menus. You can also create drop downs very easily just by dragging. There are inline help tips that have been improved pretty much everywhere to help you understand the new interface. So here you can see it's to make something hidden, you can just simply hide it or bring it back. If it's a link to an outside website, it'll show the icon here that is going to an outside website. If we were to go look at this group page, this doesn't have a lot of styles on it, but you'll notice there's no staff over here. There's some action buttons. This is just a demo that doesn't really have any styling to it. But if I make myself a featured staff member, hit save, and then go back and refresh it, there I am as the department head on the side. Made that a little bit easier. The action buttons that departments enjoy has received a facelift as well. So again, these are basic ones that don't really have any styling, but you can add new ones. And the way that this now works is you can give it a label like, we'll just say building, and it could go anywhere, right? We'll just say this is going to go to /building in the website. And then we can choose an icon for that with a click. We've added a host of icons that, departments typically use, and you can override it with custom font awesome icons directly if you want to, but we're going to keep adding to this so that it's so full featured you don't need to go out to another website to choose an icon anymore. You hit save, puts the icon over here. These are also drag and drop, and then you hit save, and we go back, look at the website, and now we have a new building icon. So really that's simple, just to make all of that much, much easier. So there's some other new features here too we can look at real quick. So if we go to the media library is getting a revamp. One of the things that customers have asked us for over the years is the ability to hide folders from the public. So you can see this folder has an X on it. It's now possible to edit a folder and change the visibility of it so that it is nothing in that folder can be routed. So this involved a lot of security tokens and keys back and forth with the storage server to make sure that access outside of the of the organization is locked. When you see a folder that has the three dots on it here, that means that it's locked down in specific departments. And if you're not a member of that department or a super admin, you can't get to the content in those folders. So that's brand new. There will be a few more reports with the media. One of the features that our customers have wanted for years is the ability to replace a file with another file that has a different name, but then have all the links in the website change. And that's going to happen. There will be a report for orphan files. So files that exist in the media library but that aren't linked anywhere in the website, those will show up in a report so that you can archive them and clean up your media library. So a lot of work's gone into making that media library better. If we look at pages, let's go look at the Manage Pages screen. And here, let's look at this About the City Manager page. Okay, so here's a brand new page editor. In the old CMS, the current CMS, I should say, you have the For a While editor, which is the standard editor, and then an old CK editor, which is really an old, outdated legacy editor. This is a brand new state-of-the-art editor that's open source that we've extended to have built-in ADA compliance. So when you build your page out, you can run the ADA check right here, and you'll see down below that it's got the ADA checking built in. The technology we're using for built-in ADA checking is really top-notch. It's state-of-the-art and used by Microsoft and Google and really huge companies. In addition to the on-page checking, we're doing scans and also the ability to spot check any URL in the site for ADA compliance. So the end goal with our advancements in ADA are going to have multiple stages. So this first stage is really about, making sure that you can spot check pages and check them easily. We will be doing eventually PDF scanning and weekly site scanning with reporting, and the interface that you get from Accessibility, Userway, and some of those other ADA providers. We're going to eventually build that in so you won't even need a third-party system anymore. So we're talking about on-page tools, scans, quality assurance for ADA, and tools for your end user to change font sizes and colors and things like that if they're colorblind. So really proud of that. You'll see over here there's an ADA menu, and this is where some of those tools are for spot checking a page. It'll load the page here and then give you a list of any violations over on the side. So it is pretty thorough, and we'll continue to expand on that. Let's see, other things. We've built an entirely new HR system for job postings. So one of the challenges in the past was that you would put a job posting up, hook it to a form, and you might have multiple job postings that use the same form, and now you've got all the applicants coming into the same submissions table that's behind that form, and it's a little bit clunky. We've allowed you to share one application form for people to fill out if you have a master HR job application form. But when people fill out the job applications for a specific position, that will be stored under that position. So now what's going to happen is you come in here and you go to the actual job position. This one's for a park director, and you can see we've got an applicant here, and there's a lot of different statuses that you can control. Everything can be controlled in here. There's a pipeline view as well, where you can drag the applicants from one stage to another as they move through the process. And this looks kind of overkill, but when you have hundreds of applicants, and you need to filter them quickly, this is how you're going to be able to do that. So if we look at this applicant here, Sarah Mitchell, and we want to send this person a message, you can compose a message in here, and there's a built-in templating system where you can say, all right, we're going to let them know that we received their application and we're reviewing it. All of the messaging here, including the tags, like the person's name and everything, can all be done dynamically through templating. You can attach files to this, and this gives you a way to have a historical reference of when you replied, and it has its own file management system with security, so only HR can get to the forms and files and all the data that's behind this. So there are new roles in the system specifically for HR for doing all of this employee management stuff. There's a library in here where you can actually, this is where you can actually create different documents and groups of documents to email them out easily or send them to the applicant easily. And we've also included onboarding as well. So if you do make the hire, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to present them with their onboarding documents and a list of emails and everything that you can control for that. There is an interview calendar here, and this does synchronize with Outlook, Office 365, Google Calendar. So pretty proud of that too. And you'll be able to manage all of your upcoming interviews. So really neat and really taking that to the next level. Simple Send is our mass texting, and it's working, but we're doing some testing on this now. It's a little tricky to set up. We have to create a phone number for each customer to send from. But this is stage one of a much bigger project with texting, where eventually you'll be able to do two-way texting to the city as well. Our 311 system has been totally revamped. We have a lot of new interfaces in this. We basically went through every piece of this to ensure that it is working better for our customers. One of the requests that we've had is the ability to create ticket types that are internal only, that are staff only. And so now we've added that, where when you're managing your ticket types, you can create certain ticket types that are internal only. So when you manage your ticket types, and you can see here, this one is the audience for this is staff only. So you can now change between whether it's the public that can access creating tickets into this, or staff only. This also got an upgrade to the user management, where the person who works in public works, who's working on tickets, logs into a separate interface out in the field. They don't have to go into the CMS. They can manage tickets, see reports, upload pictures from an iPad or a phone, and they go right into the system. So a lot of updates to the 311 system. Eventually, you'll also be able to create a ticket for 311 from a text message. That's going to be another new feature that you'll see soon. Meetings and events, every single thing's been upgraded in this. We've gone through every single screen. And also we've looked at how quickly they load, and this queries and everything behind it that build these pages to make them faster, right? So everything's quite a bit, snappy. This development server is it's very small. This doesn't have a lot of horsepower. So when we put this on our production environment, it's even going to be faster than it is now. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, so there's a lot more. It goes on, but I think you can see we've been pretty hard at work here, and we have a few more things to do. Oh yeah, e-signatures. We added e-signatures to our form builder. Let's look at forms, because that's always been a challenge for people. We have a couple things here to talk about. So let's look at this form right here. And if I go view it, this is a very basic form, by the way, but you can see there is a new e-signature system in here where you have to sign physically and type your name. And by the way, that does create a click wrap contract from this. So it is a legal binding contract if somebody signs it this way and types their name. And the signature is captured as an image, and it's placed into our submissions table, and it's secure to only the folks that are allowed to see the submissions on the back end. So here we're looking at form fields, and you can see a lot cleaner interface here. And here's our e-signature. The payment system is being updated with multiple payment providers, new ones. And overall, there are some behind the scenes features, like we now have the ability to take a PDF, run some Python scripts against it, and build these forms automatically. So we had some ginormous PDF, 5-page PDF forms that customers have given us that we've been able to churn through, build a web form, and then create a template, a design template, where when someone fills that form out, it can make the PDF as the person sends it. So here's what that means. Someone's on their phone, they're filling out the form with their thumbs, right? And when they hit submit, it'll take all the data, put it into a PDF that matches the city's normal PDF, and it will email it and store it in the back end. So pretty amazing stuff, but we're proud of that. And yeah, there's, like I said, it goes on and on. It's every little thing. But this was meant to just kind of give you a quick peek, right? Oh, you want to see something cool? Because I'm showing off now. In our design area, we started to create some new widgets. And this is going to allow super users and designers, mostly the EvoGov staff, But by the time we're done, there's probably going to be about 20 of these. And I'll give you an example of what you can do. You can now build really handsome like news sliders like this and put those in. One of the things that people have always struggled with, right, is images and making images look good and things like news posts. So what we did to make that better is when you add a news post, an image to your news post now, you'll see this little dot right sitting here, right? And you can move this dot around. This is the focal point. So what that'll do is crop the image around whatever part of the subject you'd like it to crop around. And this is how you can avoid cutting people's heads off in the photo and things like that. So you won't really need to worry about the height and width all the time of your images. You'll be able to just click on the focal point and be done. So that should make life a lot easier for customers. The way that large files are uploaded now has been streamlined. I know we had some downtime when we were doing these big upgrades on the back end, but this is the payoff, right? We can now handle files up to a gig in size. We do have a default image size in there of or file size of 250 megs to keep things sort of sane. But we're able to process files faster and better than we ever could before. And these little usability tweaks we think are going to go a long way to make your life easier when you're putting images up and things, and you won't have to worry so much. And is it the right resolution? Is it the right size? Customers don't want to worry about that. So we're trying to make things like that kind of dummy proof and just streamlined so you can use the system and have a lot more fun with it. Last thing I'll show you is throughout the system, we have added a dark mode. So you can, if you don't like the bright white screens everywhere, you can also use dark mode. So as we're going through, we're making sure that dark mode looks good everywhere. It's been a lot of work to actually make that work throughout the whole system, but we're right there. So yeah, that's a look at the new 2.0 version of our CMS. I hope you are excited about it and looking forward to it like we are. We're going to be very careful with how we launch this. We don't want any downtime, and we don't want to freak out our customers. So until the training videos and documentation are really good everywhere, we're not going to launch it. But you will notice when you do see this for the first time that there's a getting started guide on most applications. So like, as you can see right here, the employment application has a very thorough step-by-step getting started guide. And having this contextual help built in is nice, so you don't have to go jump out to a help website or to a manual. We think like having it on page is just going to be probably the best way to handle all this stuff. So most areas will have a getting started guide, right in them. So here's the FAQ getting started guide, how to build an FAQ. So yeah, we think that's easier, nicer. Combined with videos and live training, I think we'll have all our bases covered. So thanks for hanging with me. As crazy as I am showing this stuff, I'm kind of all over the place, but it's a lot. There's a lot to it, and we appreciate your business. Hope you're excited about this. All right, take care.